All right, guys, in this video, we're going to talk about carb cycling a little bit. So with carb cycling, we think of your macronutrients as a weekly budget. You're going to have low and high calorie days, and restricting your calories for a couple days is going to allow you a larger budget on your high calorie days to eat with more freedom. And that's one reason that we love dieting this way, because it allows you to still have days in the week where you're actually eating in the caloric surplus, but you're still getting lean and losing weight. One thing about these days as well is with carb cycling, make sure to hit your refeed days, because if you go too long in a caloric deficit, an extreme caloric deficit, it's going to negatively affect your metabolism. So we build in these refeed days, your high carb days, so that you don't hurt your metabolism and that you can steadily keep losing weight throughout the weeks. So the first thing that we want you to do, if you're new to counting macros, if you're not new to counting macros, I would just go to the macro calculator, fill it out, and then get rolling. If you're new to counting macros, we want you to spend the next 3 days just tracking everything that you eat in MyFitnessPal. And the reason that we do that is because it's going to allow you to kind of get an idea of what foods contain proteins and carbs and fat. And also it's going to give you an idea of what your daily intake looks like. So if you track your food and you realize, okay, these guys are telling me to eat 200 grams of protein a day and I've only been eating 90 a day, well, then you know that's going to be an extreme change to your diet, and you know the necessary steps to take to make those changes. So once you've done that, another reason that we want you to do that for the next 3 days is just to give yourself time to fill out the macro calculator, read all the information on the tabs we have to the side here, and then also use the meal builder to build yourself a meal plan if that's the route that you want to go. So the meal builder is really a super basic function, and the reason that we made it so basic is because nothing can really compete with MyFitnessPal as far as a food database. But the problem with it is, if you're new to counting macros, there's so much trial and error. Like if you don't know how much fat is in beef or what sources of meat are actually lean, then you're going to be spending all day just looking to find lean meat sources to fit into your macronutrient guidelines. So we created the meal builder to be super basic so that you have limited options, but it's a way to get you going, at least for the first couple of weeks. Build some meal plans, start your transformation off the right way without having to think too much about it, and just hop right into it. All right, the next thing that you're going to want to do is go to the macro calculator. So the macro calculator, you'll click the button under overview off to the side here, and it's going to pull up a video where we actually explain how to use the macro calculator. And then from there, you're going to be able to choose your goal: fat loss, body comp swap, and then lean bulk. And then based off that goal, it's going to give you different macronutrients for every day. So it's going to give you, you'll click into it, it's going to give you your weekly carb structure. So what carbs are on what day. So Monday's moderate, Tuesday's low, Wednesday's high. So look at that weekly carb structure, fill out the macro calculator, and then below the macro calculator, it's going to give you all of your days. So your high carb day, your low carb day, and your moderate carb day to fit that diet. So that's where you're going to find all that information. And then where you can find the rest of the information is just in the tabs on the right. So if you're new to counting macros, we highly recommend reading all the information, spend the next 3 days, digest it, and come up with a plan. So we'll go over protein, carbs, fat, your hydration, meal frequency, how to fit alcohol into the plan, and then also supplements for muscle building and inflammation.